Here we are taking the handwritten characters, not character digits. The problem is that we need to classify this handwritten digits into the corresponding digits. So the input is different handwritten digits that correspond to each number. Say 8 will be different 8 will be there, different 9 will be there, different 7 will be there. That is written by some human. So the problem, the input given to that the model is a set of images that each image is a character like this. Say it will be written like this. So each image is cropped into some particular dimension, into particular grayscale images with a particular dimension. So you can get some examples like this 0, 5, 4. So the problem is you have to convert this, you have to map this value into corresponding number. So if this is the image, this is the input image, you have to predict it as it can be either I think it is 5. You have to mark this into 5. So we treat this problem as a classification problem. We already yesterday we saw one classification problem using SVC. That is a binary classification problem. We have only two classes, either 0 or 1, diabetic or not, pass or fail, yes or no. Okay, but here we have 10 classes. The number of digits may be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 9. So we have 10 digits. So each handwritten image may be have to map to some need to map to some class. So we have 10 classes. So it belongs to one of this class. So it is a 10 class problem, classification problem. So our output require a class label that belongs to as 10 values, class 1, class 2, or 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 10. Right. So it is a we are treating this as a classification problem, 10 class problem. So first step in machine learning is load the data. Fortunately, this Keras provide a large varieties of data set. Most of the popular benchmark data sets are available in Keras or PyTorch, whatever package you are using, whatever APIs you are using. They provide many popular benchmark data set. So if you are developing new model, you can try with that benchmark data and publish the result. Instead of trying with your own data is also okay, but when you are presenting some work, you need to work with benchmark data. So most of the benchmark data sets are available with Keras, and if you are using PyTorch, that also available. So first step, you have to load the data. So you are importing the data set from Keras. We are using MNIST data set. So import from keras.dataset, import MNIST. Okay, and you are loading the data. So the load data function is there. The data set dot load data. Load data. So you are loading like this: train images and corresponding label, and test images and corresponding labels. Okay. After executing this statement, you will get an output like this, because all data images as a pair. That is training image and corresponding label, testing image corresponding label. They loaded as a tuple. And this will be the output because this Keras uses TensorFlow. So when loading the data set, loading the Keras, TensorFlow also will be loaded. So first step is over. You loaded the data. Now we have four variables. That is a collection of train images and corresponding train labels. Then collection of test images and corresponding test labels. So we are not going to split the data explicitly. The splitting is already available in a MNIST data set. Keras already stored this data for data splitted train and test images. So we are not going to split it again. So before moving to the classification problem, we can just analyze the data. First, what is the shape of this train images? We have 60,000 train images, and each image is 28 by 28 pixels. So image is stored by pixel. So each image, this is called tensor. In this view, this train image is not a matrix, it is a tensor. You may remember scalar, vector, matrix, then all above matrix all are called tensors. So scalar means just constant value, say 8, 4, 10. they are just values, they are called scalar values. Then if you are representing a data point with some more values, more than one values, like a point is represented by xy dimensions, 2-dimensional value, or 3-dimensional value, we have 3 values, or 4-dimensional value. So if we are specifying with a set of numbers, it is called vector. If it have rows and columns like matrix, we say collection of vectors, it is called matrix. And when we are collecting different matrices, it is called tensor. Here we have 60,000 images, and each image is a matrix of 20 by 28 by 28. So it is a tensor, 3-dimensional. We can say 3-dimensional vector. So 60,000 images, and each image is represented by 28 by 28 pixels. So a matrix, and we have such 60,000 matrices. And length of train label corresponding to each tensor, we have corresponding label values of 60,000 train labels are there. Similarly, you can evaluate, you can visualize the, or you can analyze the test data. I didn't, you can try it. And I am plotting some of the images using plot.imageShow function, plt.imageShow function. It is very similar to ImageShow, IMShow in MATLAB. These are some appendix like pld.title, pld.show, like that. So you can visualize the data, some of the data. You can try any images. So some images, the input images will look like this. You have images like this, and you are going to classify the images. So this may be 4 or this may be 9. There may be confusion. So how model trained on the data, that depends on the result depends on the training. So these are some of the input images. You can visualize the data using matplotlib plt.imshow. Imshow is the function that we are using to, because each image is represented by a matrix pixels. So in order to plot that pixel into an image, we are using imshow function. Simple. Then you have to define the model. The next step is, in previous cases, you are just using the function from scikit-learn. You can just simply use the available function. But here we are going to define our neural network. So the neural network, if you got a class on ANN, there are a lot of layers. This is a feed-forward network. We are just creating simple feed-forward network with input layers, then many hidden layers, and finally an output layer. So input layer, we have to specify number of input neurons, and in each layer we have to specify the number of neurons. So in order to create a neural network, neural network layer in Keras, we are importing models and layers. So first we need to represent a model, that is model.sequential. We are creating a sequential model because each layer is connected, arranged in a sequential way. So we are creating a sequential model. So network is an object of this model. So our model is called network. We are adding layers to that network, that model. Okay. So in this example, we are taking an example. We are creating a model in such a way that it have an input layer followed by 2 hidden layers and finally an output layer. Clear? You just imagine the network. We have one input layer that will take the images image features as an input. Then it will pass through 2 hidden layers and finally an output layer. Sorry, we are using only one hidden layer. So one input layer, one hidden layer, one output layer. Okay, that is our network structure. So we are adding network. First, we have created a model object. And the input layer, we are not specifying input layer as a separate layer. We will first define the first hidden layer that will take input from the input layer. So input layer is default. It will be there. We are not explicitly specifying the input layer. It will take input. It will not. It will just it will just bypass the input to the next layer. So input layer have no mathematical computation. It will just take the input and pass it to the next layer. Okay. So the first hidden layer, and in the hidden layer we have to specify the corresponding activation function, which activation function we are using, and number of neurons in the hidden layer. So in each layer, when we are going to define a hidden layer or whatever layer in neural network, you have to specify the number of neurons available, neurons to be used in that layer, plus the activation function. We have these two are important things. And if it is the first layer, that is first hidden layer, it will we have to specify the input shape. So it will be input shape will be 28 into 28. Here each image will be represented as a 28 by 28 image. So 28 into 28, 764. So the input will be at 28 by 28. That is 28 into 28. That much neuron will be in the input layer. So each pixel value will be a feature. We are taking pixel values as feature. So each pixel will be read by a neuron. So we have 28 into 28 neurons pixel values. So 28 into 28 neurons in the input layer. And that input will be given to 512 neurons in the hidden layer. So the network like this, we have input layer. This input layer have 28 into 28. So 28 into 28. That much neurons in the input layer. It will take each pixel as input, and followed by we have an hidden layer. This hidden layer take 512 neurons, and in the output layer we have output layer. We have in the output layer we have this is a 10 class problem. So we have 10 classes, 10 neurons corresponding to each class. Okay, that will give 10 output. This is our neural network structure. We have 28 by 28 input. This is input layer. Then this is hidden layer. And this is output layer. Okay. Now, the thing is that 28 by 28 and this is input layer. It is not perform any mathematical computation. Each pixel will be given to each neuron, and this is given to the next layer. Next layer we have 512 neurons, and it is using a function, ReLU activation function. So you will compute the function. We are using a dense layer. That means all neurons, all 28 by 28 neurons in connected to this 512 neurons. So it is a dense layer. Similarly, all 512 layer here connected to all the 10 neurons in the this layer. So here will be 28 into 28 into 512 connection will be here, and 512 into 10 connection will be here. Then coming back to this one, this is neural network. We are using a ReLU activation here. After computing the weight and all, we will transform this into and we will apply the nonlinearity here. ReLU is the nonlinearity. ReLU function means it will take like that, max of x comma 0. So if the value is negative, it will return 0. If the value is positive, it will return that value itself. So the curve will be like this. In negative case, it have no value. In positive case, it will give the x value. So this is ReLU function. We are using a ReLU function. There are many other ReLU versions are available. We need some nonlinearity in order to capture the data distribution. We need to apply some nonlinearity. So the nonlinearity function, the popular one is most effective one is ReLU. There are different variation like leaky ReLU, expanded ReLU. There are lot of versions are available. For the simple case, we are using ReLU function. So we have created this, we have added a dense layer. This is hidden layer with 512 neurons. And if you want to add one more layer, you can add one more layer here, no problem. You can specify the number of hidden layers, neurons. You can specify number of neurons here. Then in the output layer, this is the output layer with 10 number of neurons. And the activation function we are using is softmax function. So output will be a 10-dimensional vector, as you can see here. See, we have 10 values here. So each neuron will get some values, and we will take the neuron with highest values. We can consider this as a probabilistic value. given an image corresponding to each image, we have some probability distribution. So some neuron will get activated. We normally ideally we need to get one neuron get activated, others will be zero. If it is 10, if it is 0, we need first neuron to be activated and all other values should be 0. If it is 1, we need second neuron to be activated and all other neurons should be 0 in the output layer. But in real case, we will not get this 1-0 case like binary encoding. We will get some probability value for each neuron. There will be some probability value, and we will take which neuron got the highest value. So if it is 1, so the second neuron will get highest value. It should get highest value. We don't know which we will get. That depends on the training and how model learns from the data. So this is the architecture. Hope it is clear. So we are adding the model is created. After creating this model, we have to compile the model using the function compile. In the compilation, we have to give the parameters like which optimizer we are going to use. That is, we are using root mean square optimizer. And loss function we are using is categorical cross entropy. You can specify the loss function what we are going to use, because we are getting a probabilistic distribution. So you are going to compare an actual distribution and expected distribution. So to compare the loss between two distribution, you are using cross entropy. And here the values are category 0, 1, 2, 3. So we are using categorical cross entropy loss function. And metrics to evaluate your something is lost here. So metrics you are using is accuracy. Okay. Now the images, some image processing techniques, you have to there may be some so you are converting these values divided by 25 to 55. These are part of image processing, not part of neural network and machine learning. In order to pre-process the data, in order to get the correct pixel values, we are dividing them by 255. In order to this is as the meaning is something you are converting them into grayscale images. You are normalizing the data by dividing 255. For the time being, you understand like this. And train labels, we have some values 0, 1, 2, 9. So we apply some categorical encoding, because in the train feature, you are applying categorical encoding, or you can say one hot encoding. Like suppose the output label is 1, you will mark it as 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So each label is converted into a 10-dimensional vector. And the value corresponding to the actual label will be activated, others will be 0. So if it is 0, label is 0, it will be 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. If it is 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, then 1. In the position of 5, it will be 1, other will be 0. So one hot encoding is applied on the, because we are comparing with the distribution. The output have 10 dimensions, so input should also have 10 dimensions. So we are converting the training label into categorical value. So we are converting the label into a 10-dimensional vector simply. Then train the model. Train the model means we are fitting the data. Network.fit. So the model is already compiled. So train image, corresponding labels. We have to specify number of epoch. Epoch means how much times it have to repeat the iteration, number of iteration. One epoch means the time required to, when it covers all the images in the data set, training set, one epoch is completed. Then the weight will be recomputed. Here epoch is 5, so 5 times it will recompute, and finally we will get the final results. You can specify batch. So batch by batch learning, it will take first 128 image, then next 128 image. That way also you can specify number of batches. So training is over. Now you need to test the data. For testing, you are test loss as well as test accuracy. You are evaluating. So evaluate is the function that you are using to evaluate. You require test accuracy and test loss. So you just call evaluate function with test images. So test images are previously unseen images. So you are going to evaluate how your model working on previously unseen data. So it will work on the data and you will get corresponding test accuracy as 0.9816. So our model learns with 0.9816 accuracy. So just go through the load the data, create the model. Here we have one input layer, one hidden layer, and one output layer. We specify the activation function in both layers, the number of neurons in the layer. Then we compile the model, specify the optimizer function. You can use other optimizers like Adam, Boost, and whatever optimizer you require, normalizer, regularization. You can use RMS prop. Here RMS prop is used. Then loss function you have to specify, and which metrics we are going to use for evaluation, that you need to specify in the compile function. Then compile the model. Normalize the data because data belongs to different values. So you normalize it by dividing 255. Then you category encoding applied. That is, you are converting the output label and using one-hot encoding. Then train the model, evaluate the model. Hope the pipeline is very clear. If you find any difficulty, if you have any doubt, we can discuss. Or I recommend you to try this code in your machine. The code is already shared, so you can try it on your machine. And if you find any difficulty, we can discuss. So the code is here. Some portion in the tutorial, the PDF is missing. When I converted to PDF, some portion is missed. So you can refer this screen, and particularly the compile code. The experiments here you can do is here. You can create your own model. You can add new layers. You can try different activation functions. You can increase the number of neurons here. You can reduce the number of neurons. You can see what happen in the what changes will happen in the results. And when you are adding new layers, that become your own model. So creating deep learning model is very simple. What I show us a simple layer, simple feed-forward network. When we are adding more layers, when it learns from more layers, it becomes a deep learning model. So after completing this project, you can try to add one more layer here and see how how results are getting changed. This model already have 98% accuracy, but you can try to increase the accuracy if possible. Then you can try to increase the number of epochs, what changes will happen. You can plot the learning curve, like how loss is decreasing in each, loss is changing in each epoch, because you have all the values here. You are when you are compiling running the model, training the model, you have all the values here. You can plot it in the a simple linear plot. You can also plot how accuracy is increasing in each in how the learning happen on each epoch. So there's a simple model, simple structure. You can expand this into any higher level. I think this is one of the fundamental example in image processing, one of the Hello World program for image processing machine learning application. Most of the textbooks start with this example.